Comrades, the Company of Heroes 3 multiplayer alpha is finally available to the public. This is our very first look at player versus player action for CoH3, and there's a lot to cover, including some early meme ideas. Woo! The invasion has begun! First, just a mental note, guide your expectations. Just like the single player test, the game is still in an early alpha stage. There's a lot of elements that are not yet polished, but RELIC has been fielding the community's feedback and logging a lot of known issues. So just relax. This game isn't being released until late next year, and RELIC will be taking all that time to make the game the best it can be. And on that note, I do recommend going into your graphics, make sure game window is set to exclusive full screen, reduce the game scale, and lower your graphics to maybe medium or low, just because it has not been optimized for most hardware yet, and this will help you get the most out of the build. So 2 factions are available, US and Vermont, along with 1 1v1 map and 3 2v2 maps. Map design is still an incredibly strong aspect of this game so far. The environments, ambiance, and destruction are looking sweet. Artillery call-ins and plane drops are also looking quite tasty. And the sound design is tickling my ears. I mean, just listen to this. But of course, there's several issues that need to be addressed, and I'm sure they will be, such as some of the voice lines.
Weapon crew on standby.
It sounds like a Sesame Street character, but we can overlook that. The interface clearly hasn't gotten the love it deserves, with missing icons, placeholders being used from CoH2, but I do have to say the layout is feeling nice and spacious. The general consensus so far is that the camera feels too far zoomed out, making units seem small, especially the vehicles. The more I play, I'm actually getting used to it, but I definitely agree the tanks do seem to need a size increase. But let's not spend too much time picking at the small details. Let's look at the bigger picture to what this new installment is bringing to the table so far. CoH3 is introducing a function called battle groups for special abilities and call-ins, replacing the commander-style approach from CoH2. As the game progresses, you'll be able to choose from multiple abilities in the battle group as the command point requirements are met. But you can only choose one ability per row per column. This adds a very unique aspect to multiplayer timings and strategies, as it's possible to spend your command points on the cheaper options from each column, or save to advance down a single column faster. Alright, let's dive into the US faction first. Right now, USF is the most flexible faction I've ever seen in a Company of Heroes game. Off the bat from the HQ, the Americans start with Scouts, which is a 3-model unit that functions similar to a Pathfinder in CoH2, although Pathfinder still exists as a separate unit in this game. But the Scouts do have increased line of sight, they can capture territory faster, and they can be upgraded with flares and smokes. They can't really win any 1v1s though. Engineers are also available off the bat, which performs most traditional tasks such as mines, bunkers, and tank traps. But here's where it gets fun. The HQ building includes 3 support center options, and you can only choose one to unlock a special set of abilities. First, we have the Air Support Center, which unlocks Recon Flight, P-47 Strafing Run, and a P-47 Dive Bomb. Or we have the Mechanized Support Center, which unlocks Raid, Field Repairs, or Command Vehicle. And last, we have Infantry Support Center, which unlocks Hold the Line, Raiding Smoke, and Rapid Assault, and you'll also get a Captain Infantry unit with an LMG as well. Now, each of these support center options adds a unique building to your base sector, which allows you to upgrade the provided abilities even more, such as adding a second plane to the P-47 strafe. With the battle groups and support centers already providing a crazy amount of possibilities, the USF Veterancy system takes it a step further. Upon reaching the first stage of Veterancy, units have the choice between upgrading to one of 2 abilities. For example, Riflemen have the choice between Pour It On 'em for increasing the squad's fire rate and dealing suppression, or Cover to Cover to increase the squad's movement for a short period of time. And every single USF unit is given choices like this at Vet 1, so you'll have to remember to set them. Alright, let's take a look at some of the other units in USF. The Barracks will give you access to Riflemen, a Willys Jeep, which can capture points at Vet 1 or drop supplies. This unit is very flexible. And also the Mortar Squad. The Weapons Support Center will give you access to an MG Squad, Bazooka Squad, Sniper, an M3 Armored Personnel Carrier which can transport troops or be upgraded with a quad mount, 75mm gun, or even healing. The Motor Pool is going to give you access to the M8 Greyhound, an anti-tank gun, and the M24 Chaffee, which is supposed to be more of an anti-tank role, also does decent damage to infantry, kind of like a Stuart, but at the moment this unit is incredibly overpowered. Finally, building the tank depot unlocks the M4A1 Sherman, the M18 Hellcat tank destroyer, which can also be upgraded with a machine gun to do some infantry damage, and last but not least, the bulldozer Sherman, which is an absolute beast. And there's also some special units available in the Armored Battle Group, including assault engineers, an M31 recovery vehicle, which is for repairing and salvaging vehicles, that's pretty cool, the M8 Scott, and the Sherman EZ8. Now, the German tech system is much more straightforward and shares more similarities with the Soviets in CoH3. Rather than support centers, the Germans get access to what's called field marshals, and they unlock specific unit abilities and veterancy perks right away. First up, we have the fortifications marshal, and with him, grenadiers get rifle grenades, bunkers can be made with reinforced concrete, and tanks can hold down. Next, we have the mechanized field marshal, and with him, grenadiers get stick grenades, bunkers can be upgraded to offer repairs to vehicles, and tanks can get side skirts armor. And last, we have the Special Ops Field Marshal. With him, the Grenadiers get incendiary grenades, bunkers can be turned into observation bunkers, which as one of its abilities can drop a pretty powerful artillery strike, and tanks get camouflage netting. Alright, well let's run through some of the units that are included in the Vermont Army. From the HQ, you get engineers and a Kettenkrad, which is a fast little motorcycle that can capture points. From the infantry company building, you can build grenadier squads. Now these have 6-man squads and they have the merge ability. They're actually more like conscripts in CoH3. They're a bit weaker, and the only gun upgrade currently is with MP40s from one of the battle groups. There's heavy MG teams, mortar teams, snipers, and the ability to promote grenadiers, which will swap them out for a different unit, and you lose veterancy by doing so, but still, it's kind of a unique ability. The Luftwaffe company will give you access to Jaeger squads, armored scout cars, a flak anti-aircraft team, which is actually a mobile flak gun and can suppress infantry or shoot down tanks depending on the prioritization you give. There's flak panzer whirlwinds and a Marder 3 tank destroyer. From the Panzer Grenadier Company, you can get Panzer Grenadier squads, which come with STG-44s, quite a powerful elite squad. The PaK-40 anti-tank gun, a medium armored carrier, which can be upgraded with the 75mm gun or become a medical truck. The Nebelwerfer, which is kind of like a land mattress, and a Stug 3. And lastly, from the Panzer Company, you have access to the Stabstruppen squad. It looks like they're an elite unit with an LMG, the Panzer IV, and a Brumbar. Notably missing is a Panther. It'll be interesting to see if Axis get any more tanks available to them. A couple other units specific to battle groups are Fallschirm Pioneers and Fallschirm Jägers, as well as a logistics truck for increased resources, and of course the Tiger. I think CoH3 is coming along really well, in my opinion. I'm sure some of you will have plenty of feedback to give Relic, and trust me, they look forward to receiving it. Take the survey at the end of a game and be sure to sign up for the co-development portal to access the forums and keep the discussion going. With everyone's input and Relic's passion for this title, I am quite confident this is going to be both a hit with the CoH1 and CoH2 fans alike. Oh! Disgusting wipe!